First of all, I want to show you my wooden needles that I made, and they turned out great. Got the wrong size on these though. I put 14 and a half, and I think they're more like 15s. Well, anyway, I'm going to show you how to do a cast on your needle to knit. And what you want to do, you want to put your slip knot. What you do, you wrap it around your finger and then put it through there, and then you just pull and then stick your needle through there and tighten it up on it. Now there's many cast-ons that you can do, but this is the one I prefer, and that is you wrap your finger around like that, come around there, come around your thumb, well, pull that out. But let's try that again. What you do with it on your needle, that's very important that that's right here, then the open end is connected to your needle. Then you thread like that, come up over your forethumb and like that, and then come down and catch it like this. I hope you can see that. And what we do, we go in under that, go up under that, and then come back through, and voila. Now you got two chains, two stitches on there. One is the slip knot that you started with. Okay, let's do that again. I tell you what, instead of doing that, just hold it like this. Go over that, come through, and just hold it tight like this with your fingers, because all you're basically doing is going under this, coming up over that loop that's over on that finger, and then coming back under, and it puts you another loop on there, another stitch. Okay, I'm hoping I'm getting this where you can see it. Okay. No. Just a minute and I'll get it. Well, now I've got turned backwards with the okay, here we go. We got it. I've got that caught right there with my little finger, coming around there. Then you go up under here, kind of maneuver that around there, and then come back under the first, see, okay, go up under, come around, and like this. And of course, if I ain't doing it on this, it gets pretty quick, but alrighty, we got enough to start to do a few stitches with. Alrighty, here we go. And what I'm going to show you how to do is the garter stitch, or the knit stitch is what some call it. And I always start off the first one just well, the very first row, what you do is slip this underneath that stitch, go in, then you got this one here, you come around and then you pull it through, and then voila. Let me see if I can get that further away from the camera and do it. You go under the stitch like that, then come around with this, loop it over this needle right back here. You loop it over, bring it down in between those. I hope you can see that. And then you just back it out and make sure you catch that loop and then pull it off. And you don't want to get your tension too tight, because and that's what deterred me from learning to knit when I was a lot younger, is because I had my tension so tight I couldn't move my stitches from one needle to the other. So you want to kind of keep the same tension, and it's basically this is this simple. And this is the knit stitch. Well, there we go. It's kind of hard to do this underneath the camera. Okay, that goes in like that. Well, it ain't helping the way I have to position this camera either, but I'm hoping that you can see this good enough to slip that back on, go up underneath there, and voila, we're at the end. Alright, let's do one more row of garter stitch, and I want to show you to keep the edges taut at the end. After that first row, from then on I just put my needle in there, drag that first one off, and tighten it up. I like the finish edge that it leaves. So put it under, slip it under again. Now this is what they call the knit stitch or the garter stitch. I'll do a few rows so you can get to see what it looks like. And then on the next video I'll show you how to do the purl stitch. And you can mingle these stitches up in different ways and to give different design to your project, whatever you're making. There we go. And you see that's what it's making on the end of your needle, is that row of knitting. Alrighty, let's change over again. And like I said, this first one, after that first row, always just slip that first one off onto the other needle and give it a good snug. That way it keeps that end always looking more finished on each side, whether you're making a scarf or whatever you're making. I'm using these bigger needles, and this, I thought this pink showed up real good to help you see better, see what I'm doing. And I'm not going as fast as I could go because I'm trying to demonstrate here, but you can really get pretty fast at this, especially on these big needles. Let me readjust here. And let's do one more row. And see, you're making your, and this is the same stitch over and over, and they call it garter stitch because it makes your, like if you're making a scarf, I always like to use this stitch because it causes it to lay down. It don't curl up on you. But the when you do the stockinette stitch, when you're combining, you do one row of knit stitch and one row of purl, and it does a knit, what they call a stockinette stitch. And when you do that, and I'll show you that as well. But I thought, well, we'll just start out with some simple stitches to start off with. And I like the garter stitch when I'm doing, see, of course, and you see what I'm talking about. It gives a tighter end. See how those are laying snug? See right there how it's laying snug? That's the reason I like to pull off that first stitch. Well, I hope this helped you. And as you can see, the needles are very easy to work with. They're very comfortable in the hand. And you can go to eBay, and I have some of my needles on there, and also on Etsy as well. I'll try to put a link in down on the Etsy part that you can go to my store there, my Etsy store, and I also have some sewing patterns on there too in the supply part, And but I hope that you enjoyed this, and this kind of give you a understanding how to do this stockinette, not the stockinette, but the garter stitch, and you enjoy. I know once you get a hang of this that you will love knitting, and I love to crochet and knit both, but I think I prefer to knit. I don't know, it just moves quickly, and it's such a beautiful product when you get through. But also crocheting is too. I love to crochet as well, and there's a lot of crafts that I like to do that involves fiber. I love to work with fiber, but as you can see, I'll just lay it like that so you can see I thought these needles turned out very pretty. Well, anyway, there you go. That's your garter stitch.